Hi, in this video I would like to talk about this book, Enzyme Nutrition, written a long time ago by Edward Howell. So this book is not new, but our biology has not changed. And this talks about the 3 types of enzymes that are existing and gives a lot of details about them and how to use them to stay young and functional. And I also learned that some raw foods contain enzyme inhibitors, and that's fascinating. Let me tell you about the 3 types of enzymes. First, the digestive enzymes, the ones that we produce in order to digest the food, digest the carbs, the protein and the fats. The second type of enzymes are the food enzymes present in the raw food that we eat. Let's say raw grapes, raw spinach, raw ripe bananas, etc. Well, these raw foods save us energy because they already have the enzymes present in themselves to digest themselves. That's wonderful. And if we are used to eat raw meals, our body knows that there's no need to make enzymes actually. So the body has more energy to make the third type of enzymes, which are the metabolic enzymes. It's all explained at the beginning of this book. It's incredible. These metabolic enzymes play a role in the brain, in the muscles, in all kinds of organs and tissues, and basically these enzymes keep us functional and alive, and they do repairs, so many kinds of things. I have no idea of the extent of their role. So if we want these metabolic enzymes to be pumped up and powerful and do their job, and so that we can stay young, it's in our best interest to eat a lot of raw meals, and I do that every morning and at most lunches. At some point back in 2012, I had a fully raw diet, mostly fruit. It was wonderful, almost no nuts, some vegetables. Anyway, in this book the author advocates for a high raw diet and not necessarily for a 100% raw diet. At the beginning of the video I told you about one type of raw food that has enzyme inhibitors. That's really bad. These are the nuts and seeds. Raw nuts and seeds contain these enzyme inhibitors, which makes it that the digestion is extremely difficult, counterproductive. So what can you do? Well, avoid eating them raw and instead let these nuts and seeds sprout or cook them. And then the body still has to digest all of that. And that's a long task because the nuts and seeds are high in fat, which makes the digestion long. Another thing that this book talks about is that as humans we have some proportions of different kind of enzymes that are set, which means if a human eats a lot of protein or fat on a regular basis, the body is still not going to adapt to that. The body is still going to make mostly enzymes for carbohydrates. In the book he also talks about the process of digestion. Well, it starts in the mouth with the amylase that digests the carbs, and then the process keeps going till the upper part of the stomach. Yes, the stomach has 2 parts. I didn't know. So the carbohydrates finish digesting in the upper part of the stomach, then the food goes to the second part of the stomach, which is lower, and this is where the protein is digested. And the more protein you eat, the longer the digestion. And after that the food moves to the intestine, and that's where the lipid, the fat digestion occurs with the fat enzymes. There are so many names of these fat enzymes, protein enzymes. It's all in this book, but I don't care about this kind of detail, It's not useful. And what about the avocado? Because it's a fruit, but it's also an oilseed. Okay, let me explain. In an avocado there's the pulp of the fruit, that's green, and there's the kernel, the seed, I'm not sure of the word. So the nut of the avocado, the stone, has enzyme inhibitors, whereas the pulp, the fruit part, has just enzymes. So when you eat an avocado, you eat the pulp, and that's why the avocado pulp is way more easy to digest than nuts and seeds. And what about the animal products? There's one chapter in this book about raw animal products. So he said that animal flesh and secretion contain enzymes. And he also says that in the modern world, it's a very bad idea to eat raw animal products because the risk of contamination is so high, because in the food supply chain there's so many intermediaries that it's not recommended to eat raw animal products nowadays. And we could also mention the parasitic worms in the raw animal products. Who wants a colony of worms in their gut? Ugh, gross. Anyway, that's an excellent book. I recommend you reading it. And for me, after I read it last summer, just after I quit social media, I found that it's a really interesting piece of the puzzle. Now I take enzymes more seriously, and this is a good reason to eat raw till 4, raw till 12, or even fully raw if you can eat enough calories and do it properly. If you want examples of what I eat in a day, there are plenty of them on my channel. Raw first and then cooked. And now I show you just one day of raw food. That's a real day. That's 2 days actually. So first orange juice and sugar, and then a big bowl of grapes, and at the end a smoothie of medjool dates and blueberries. Here are the totals. And that's it for today. Let me know what you think, your experience, and see you in the next video. Ciao!